Hello to everybody. Today, FutureTrend channel is glad to welcome all of our subscribers. We are ready to present our point of view of how we trade major currencies, and not only major currencies but some others, among them the euro crosses and also the block of commodity currencies. Today is 13 February 2019, and at the moment the trading should be characterized by rising risk-on sentiment. A good example of such kind of process is, for example, the dollar yen and also some other yen crosses. As you could see, the dollar is much weaker comparing to the last trading session against such kind of currencies like euro, for example, or the Australian dollar, and especially against the New Zealand dollar. But about that we will discuss some more and some later. And but at the same time, the dollar yen is not so weak comparing to other major crosses, major currencies, and even could a little bit extend its move to the upside. That means that, for example, yen crosses like euro yen or sterling yen, and especially Aussie yen or Kiwi yen, is much higher now than compared to the previous trading session. Overall, we are seeing that at the moment the major crosses still trading in the inside of its bigger ranges. As regarding the euro dollar, for example, let's see the chart of the euro dollar. Here we should understand that the pair continue to trade between the lows of 2018 printed at 112.15 and probably the highs that were printed on 10 of January this year, around 115.69, 115.70. All in all, we are inside the range of roughly say 113, 115, and at that time probably it will be wisdom, it will be quite wise the moment to buy below the pivotal support barrier 113 and to sell above pivotal resistance barrier 115. At the moment, anyway, it's really very hard to say which way the euro dollar will go during the year of 2019. A lot will depend, of course, on the monetary policies of corresponding central banks, and from that point of view, of course, the United States Central Bank is looking much stronger, much hawkish. From that point of view, the United States dollar should be a dollar of interest to invest. Today is the day of publication of important economic indicator of consumer price index in the United States, and after a long period of silence of major economic indices from the United States because of United States government shutdown, now we are getting slowly to the point where we have much more and more economic details about the current state of the United States economy. From that point of view, probably it will be interesting day to day to trade. But of course, the sentiment is risk on after the last words of the United States President regarding possible extension of the deadline of United States-China trade negotiations, of his willingness to meet his Chinese counterpart to sign a trade deal. That means that slower we have a kind of progress in the negotiation kind of process between United States and China trade representatives. From this point of view, probably sooner or later we will have a final deal, and of course it will be a kind of important moment of the whole of 2019, and could lay the ground for major trends. At that time, now we have to wait a little longer for a clear kind of picture. Anyway, so as regarding euro dollar, as we already told, probably this kind of pair, another one find a kind of floor against the level of 113, despite of its falling to the level of 112.55 during previous trading session. And now probably we are on the way back to the level of 115. Let's see that there is a kind of downtrend line located at 114.60, probably closer to that level we could meet tougher interest to sell the currency. But of course, in case of lasting of expanding overall risk on sentiment, that kind of process should lay the ground for higher euro dollar. As regarding euro yen, it's hard to say, but we still seeing that this kind of currency pair continue to feel itself more or less comfortable with higher levels. Anyway, from a longer term point of view, there is a kind of moving average 200 daily line located at 111.28, and probably while below that line, from a longer term point of view, the pair should trade lower. The sterling, British pound. British pound is, of course, has its own problems associated with the Brexit negotiation process. We should understand that the Brexit deadline looms now, and it's scheduled for 29th of March. So the March will be a crucial kind of month for the British pound traders in 2019. But at that time, we should understand that United States dollar is a little bit under the downside pressure, and that's why probably the cable also is looking a little bit higher and stronger comparing to the previous sessions when it plummeted to the level 128.30, by the way, during a previous trading session. We'd like to say that now it's time to speak about the Kiwi dollar, by the way. As we told a lot of times during our previous reports, we should understand the difference between the monetary policy of different central banks of developed nations. And here, comparing to the United States Central Bank, there are a few ones that could compete with the Fed regarding a possible hiking of its interest rates. Among them, by the way, the British Central Bank, the UK Central Bank. And we should understand that in case of final signing of the Brexit deal, the final approval of Brexit deal from the side of UK Parliament, of course, in that case, the next step of the UK Central Bank will be to hike interest rates, because we should understand that inflation at the moment at the upper kind of range of the UK Central Bank. And by the way, today is also the day of publication of UK Consumer Price Index. We should pay attention to that numbers, because in case of weak result, of course, the British pound could come under additional selling pressure. But also there is some other central banks that could compete with the United States one at the moment, and among them is the Royal Bank of New Zealand. And today, by the way, the New Zealand Central Bank decided its future monetary policy and sounded less dovish as some of traders expected before. And that's why, by the way, we could see that Kiwi dollar is looking so strong right now. Yesterday we were traded below the level of 67.20, very close to the pivotal support barrier once of 0.67. Now we are trading around 1.5 figures higher. And also we suggest that it's time to buy any kind of small dips in the price of the Kiwi dollar. We should also pay attention to today's speech of the President of the Central Bank of New Zealand, Mr. Oz. This speech will take place at the closing of the United States market. So pay attention to this kind of speech, because for sure it could clear the situation regarding the future interest rate policy of the Royal Bank of New Zealand. But anyway, we suggest that these central banks that will try to hike interest rates, to look much hawkish than, for example, European one or Chinese one, which are on the back foot at the moment. These central banks could provide good opportunities for respective currencies to rise. Thank you for all of you, dear subscribers, dear traders. For those looking of our analysis of euro crosses, here it is on your screens. And we wish you a pleasant day ahead. See you at the same time tomorrow. Bye bye for now.